How do you know if God is really listening when you pray? This is a question that weighs heavily on many hearts, especially when you're seeking guidance, comfort, or answers during difficult times. You kneel, close your eyes, and pour your heart out. But how can you be sure that your prayers reach God's ears? In the chaos of life, where doubts and fears can overwhelm, it's natural to wonder if your words are heard or if they fade into the vast unknown. Stay with me until the end, because today we're going to dive deep into understanding the power of prayer and how to recognize when God is truly listening. Prayer is more than just words spoken into the silence. It's a profound connection with the divine, a channel where your spirit meets the eternal. The power of prayer lies in your intention, in your heart's purest desire to connect with God. But how do you align yourself with this power? You might feel at times like you're sending a message out into the universe with no clear sign of receipt. But what if I told you that God's response isn't always about a voice booming from the sky, but about subtle shifts in your spirit, the clarity of your thoughts, and the unfolding of events in your life? Imagine prayer as a seed planted in rich soil. Just because you don't see it growing immediately doesn't mean it isn't thriving beneath the surface. God's answers often come in forms we don't expect, through inner peace, sudden insights, or even challenges that push us toward growth. But you must water this seed with faith, patience, and the belief that God is listening, even when the world feels silent. The beauty of prayer is that it doesn't require eloquent words or perfect timing. You don't need to be in a church or a specific posture for God to hear you. What matters is the authenticity of your spirit when you approach Him. When you are sincere in your requests, when you speak from your soul without pretense or fear, you are opening a direct line of communication with God. It's in that vulnerability that your prayers carry the most power. But how do you know God is responding to your prayers? The truth is, answers from God don't always come in the way we anticipate. Sometimes the answer is yes, and you'll feel it as opportunities open up or situations improve. Sometimes the answer is no, and that can be painful, but with time you may realize it was a blessing in disguise. And sometimes the answer is to wait, which requires patience and faith in a world that constantly demands immediate results. One of the clearest signs that God is listening is the presence of peace within you. It's that inexplicable calm that settles in your heart after praying. You may not have all the answers, but there's a sense that you are held, that something larger than yourself is guiding your path. God doesn't always change your circumstances immediately, but He often changes you, your perspective, your strength, your ability to endure. And that shift within is a powerful indication that your prayers have been heard. At times, God also speaks through signs and synchronicities in your life. It could be a message that resonates with you during a conversation, a passage in a book, or even a recurring thought that nudges you in a certain direction. When your heart is open to receive, the world around you often becomes a mirror of God's guidance. Faith plays a critical role here. It's easy to pray when everything is going well, but the real test comes when you're praying through tears, when you're asking for help and the road ahead seems dark. Faith is believing that God hears you even when you don't immediately see the results. It's trusting in His timing and wisdom, knowing that sometimes what we ask for isn't always what we need, and that God's plan is often far greater than anything we can imagine. So how do you continue praying with conviction, even in the absence of clear signs? The key is to keep the dialogue going. God desires a relationship with you, and like any relationship, it deepens through consistent communication. Prayer isn't about getting what you want. It's about aligning yourself with God's will. As you keep praying, even in moments of doubt, you'll begin to see how God's answers unfold, often in ways that transform not just your circumstances, but your heart and soul. What's your experience with prayer? Have you ever felt God's presence guiding you or answering your requests in unexpected ways? Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections on how prayer has impacted your life. And don't forget to subscribe. If you want to explore these deep spiritual concepts further, check out the video in the description for even more insights. Until next time, keep your heart open and your faith strong, because God is always listening, even when it seems like the world is silent.